Sonic the Hedgehog 3 will stay true to Shadow's tragic backstory, adding emotional depth to the film. The new trailer reveals a darker and more serious tone for Sonic 3, touching on Shadow's origins and emotional stakes. Shadow the Hedgehog's origin story has been confirmed ahead of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, with the upcoming movie staying as close as possible to the source material. First appearing in 2001's Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow has since become one of the most popular characters in the Sonic universe. Designed to be the anti-Sonic in many ways, Shadow had a rather tragic backstory and was a perfect antagonist to the series' hero before joining the good guys. After the success of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, it was only a matter of time before Shadow made his live-action debut. Whereas 2020 Sonic the Hedgehog focused primarily on the relationship between Sonic and Tom, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 brought in more recognizable characters and elements from the games. This includes Tails and Knuckles, both of whom were great adaptations of their game counterparts. Considering how well Sonic the Hedgehog 2 treated Knuckles, arguably better than some of the recent cartoons in games, I was excited to see what they were going to do with Shadow. Now the first Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer has confirmed his origin story will not change. Between Maria visiting Shadow on his containment tube, the gun attack at the Ark facility, and Jim Carrey playing Professor Gerald Robotnik, it's safe to say Sonic 3 is doing Shadow's backstory from the games. In Sonic's lore, Shadow was artificially created by Gerald Robotnik alongside the United Federation to be the ultimate weapon. Gerald Robotnik, who was Eggman's grandfather, combined the DNA of a hedgehog with that of a sinister creature known as Black Doom. While the United Federation wanted a weapon, Professor Robotnik also wanted to find a cure for his dying granddaughter.
We need a cure! We need a cure!
Maria was the secret reason why Professor Robotnik was working at Project Shadow, and she became close to Shadow during her grandfather's experiments. Given that he was only being used as nothing but a test subject, Shadow's only meaningful connection was with Maria. However, after Gunn found out Robotnik had made a deal with Black Doom and started to fear the power of his creation, they invaded Ark and killed most of the researchers. Maria was also killed during the attack, Project Shadow was shut down, and Gunn eventually recovered Shadow's escape pod. He was then put into hibernation. Shadow the Hedgehog's design and personality, especially compared to the rest of Team Sonic, would have been enough to make him a fan-favorite character. However, the fact he was given a rich, tragic backstory that you don't always find in video games primarily aimed at younger audiences made Shadow even more interesting. Most Shadow appearances in games and other media have shown or at least reference his backstory, which is why it remains so important. Additionally, Shadow the Hedgehog's origins tie into other pieces of Sonic lore such as Ark, Eggman's family, and the Black Arm. It seems that Sonic 3 is not afraid of being slightly darker and more serious than the previous installments. The trailer even shows Maria's death scene, with Shadow and Professor Eggman crying over her body as the gun soldiers raid the Ark base. Shadow's origins in the film can even mirror Sonic's from the first installment, which would make their rivalry throughout the film even more interesting.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
After Sonic the Hedgehog 2 delivered what I considered to be the perfect take on Knuckles, I couldn't wait to see how they were going to handle Shadow. He was teased in the post-credit scene of Sonic 2, which referenced Project Shadow and offered a first look at the character. Shadow making his live-action debut in Sonic 3 got even more exciting after Keanu Reeves was cast in the role, making an old fan wish come true. Sonic 3's trailer now confirms that not only are they getting Shadow's backstory right, but the character looks and sounds great. Shadow even does an Akira slide in the Sonic 3 trailer, perfectly encapsulating how cool his character can be. That said, between all the cool visuals and the way he's the opposite of Sonic at first, the most important thing about a Shadow adaptation is arguably getting his origin story right. Shadow's connection to Maria and the fact she wanted him to be good to the people of Earth can make for a very emotional arc in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which now has all the tools to be the best entry in the franchise.
I've been looking forward to this.